Today we're going to be going over how to fix your transmission for about $5. And you're probably thinking, what are you talking about? This may or may not work for you. It worked for me. The whole issue is, this is a 2002 F150, and I'll show you more about it here in a minute. But on this truck, your shifter, you have your overdrive buttons on the end, you push it, and it'll go into overdrive. Or it goes out of overdrive. Anyway, there's a little light there. When you push the button, it turns orange to let you know it's on. If you get into your truck and you start it and that light's flashing, you have a transmission issue. And when I went on YouTube, there's no videos on. I mean, there's a couple videos, but everybody was saying your transmission needs to be rebuilt, this and that. And I was like, I've had this truck for about 6 months, and I've had zero problems with it. It was like, how does one day I come out and my transmission's junk and has to be rebuilt? How does that work? So I got on and got on the internet, checked some things out, called some people. My brother's a mechanic, I talked to him, and they all, a couple people told me, hey, check your fuses just to make sure, it sounds like you need to rebuild transmission. So went over the fuses once, I didn't see anything, and I thought, you know what, let me go back over these fuses one more time. I'm going to pull each fuse out and double check it to make sure it's right. And that's what I did. And what I found was several fuses blown that didn't affect the function of the truck. One was my parking lights, which the day before I had that happen, the parking lights quit working. Another one was the cigarette lighter, a couple of little minor things that had probably been blown out for a long time. So as I was going through there, I got to, which I'll show you here, how to read it and how to find the stuff. But on here, the owner's manual is where it's at. I went through the owner's manual, and as I was going through, I was checking each fuse. I got to fuse number 23, which is a 15 amp fuse, and it's called a HEGO sensor, and it's also for the automatic transmission. And the fuse is blown. So it's like, okay, maybe this is my problem. Please be this, because it's like $1,200 to get transmission rebuilt. So I went to the auto parts store, picked up a pack of fuses for $5, replaced the fuse. I also had another fuse blown, had to do with the fuel system, and I don't remember exactly which fuse that was. I think it's something to do with the fuel pump. But the truck wouldn't pull itself out of the driveway. I mean, you put it in gear and it shook real bad before I put the fuse in. And it made a clunking noise, and it shifted hard when it went into gear. And you put it in reverse, does the same thing. You push on the gas and it would barely pull itself out of the driveway. It kept stalling out. So when I replaced this fuse, I kept looking through fuses. I found something with the fuel system. I think it might have been fuse number, number 18. Yeah, I think it was fuse number 18. Anyway, I replaced that fuse, and it ran like a brand new truck. You put it in gear and it drove right out of here. I drove down to the gas station, got gas, I drove around just to test it. Didn't have any problems. Now I keep spare fuses in my truck just in case. But so far I haven't had any problems with it, and it's been running for about 2 months now on these fuses. I'm not really sure what caused the fuses to blow out. I don't know. I don't know what happened. It's, like I said, it's been running for 2 months now, no problem. So I'm not really sure what the deal was, why they blew out. But that's what I'm saying. All it was 2 fuses, and you get a pack of like 5. So total of probably $10 for both packs. So I have a bunch of spares. Like I said, one was 15 amp. I think the other one might have replaced a 20 amp fuse. But anyway, I'll go ahead real quick and I'll show you how to locate and how to read this manual and where the fuse boxes are. Okay, right now I'm going to show you the manual. It's probably going to be hard to see. Right here is number 23. 15 amp fuse, HEGO sensor, automatic transmission. Okay, that's your manual. In the Ford truck manual, it's on page 211. If you come over here, which this you're probably not going to be able to see. As you can see, there's little compartments here. All these compartments have numbers in them. The numbers correspond with the the numbers correspond with the manual. So whatever the manual says number-wise, that number on the manual is the number on this plastic cover. So right here is number 23, which is that fuse for that transmission. Now, the fuse box is located right here in a 2002 F150. So here's your fuse box, got all different fuses in it. What you do is, as you can see here, okay, all the numbered slots fit like this on top of the fuse box. So when you flip it over, the layout on the fuse cover is the same layout as on here. So all you got to do, it's kind of backwards. If the fuse panel is like this, the numbers are exactly in place. So when you flip it over, it's going to be on the opposite side. It's kind of confusing. But like I said, number 23 is right here. So you line this, the grid, you make sure you line it up with here. So number 23 would be right here, 15 amp fuse. And that's your problem. If that fuse blows, your transmission will not function properly. There's, like I said, up here, there's multiple fuses up here. Now this is the fuse panel that's underneath the hood. Okay, the manual, which I lost the page now. Here it is. Anyway, okay, there's, like I said, there's a layout for under the hood, and then there's a layout, if I can keep this book open, there's a layout right here. This layout, as you can see, is for inside the cab. And right here, it'll tell you what color fuse is what amperage. This is on page 206. 207 starts the interior fuse panel, which I'll show you that here in a second. We'll go over here. Okay, now, right here is a plastic cover that covers the entire, it snaps up in there, covers the whole thing. Actually, it goes like this, so you don't see it. Okay. Once you snap that loose, you just grab the handle right here. You grab the handle and you pull, and it'll pop loose. Once you take that off, up inside here, you'll have this cover. That snaps off the same way, and it reads the same way, except, as you can see here, it'll show up on here, your numbers are on the outside of the cover. Wherever the numbers are, on here is the location of where they are up inside the fuse panel. Now, just because it's inside the truck does not mean it does not affect critical functions of the truck. So make sure if your truck's having problems, check your fuse panel in both inside and outside the truck to make sure that you don't have any blown fuses. Because like I said, it was a $5 fix for the transmission, and it was another $5 for the fuel system. Whether that's going to be your case or not, I hope so. I hope that's what's wrong with your truck if you're having this problem. I got lucky, and that's what my problem was. It scared me to death for a few weeks, or a few days rather, racking my brain, what in the world am I going to do, because I don't have $1,500 to put a new transmission in my truck. And so I'm thankful that that's all it was. But like I said, check your fuses, check all of them thoroughly. There's actually, I've never used it. I just used a pair of pliers, but there's a little, right here is a little clip. I think it's designed to actually pull a fuse out. Like I said, I've never actually used that. I don't know if it works. I usually use a pair of pliers. You just grab the head of the fuse and pull straight out. Put it in the same way. You just grab the head and push it back in. Be careful not to crack or break anything as you do it. But it works well. They make a special tool. You can get a AutoZone probably, or Advanced Auto, or Napa, one of those places. They make a tool if you can't get to work with pliers, but pliers is what I use. But yeah, that's basically it in a nutshell. That's how I fixed my truck for about $5. 10 if you count the fuel system. So good luck to you, and hopefully you can fix your trucks the same.